Greetings, anyone? Starting off great. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of For the Hoard of the Dragon Queen. Let's do a quick recap before we jump into it. Does anyone want to do the recap, or would you like me to do so? Adela's like, yeah, me! Oh, sorry, I misunderstood that. All right, well, since everyone's gonna fight over it, I'm just gonna say no, I'll take care of it. Last week, on the premiere of For the Hoard of the Dragon Queen, we met a small group of people that are members of the Cult of the Dragon. We talked a little bit about the history. We won't go back into that this episode too much unless it comes up for some reason. But for the most part, the four of you, three of you have essentially been born into the cult, shall we say. You are, your families have been longtime members, or at least your parents were in it, and therefore you are now in it for one reason or another. Some of you have embraced it more than others, and some of you have kind of taken to the path laid out to you as far as what they wanted to see you do for the cult more than others. Some of your parents are no longer with us, and so you have taken that opportunity to make a name for yourself within the cult. And speaking of making names for yourselves, you have been wandering around this currently burning town of Greenest as the cult is ransacking it, kind of herding the villagers into certain areas so that they will remain mostly safe, but defending yourselves from attack. You've been hearing the sounds of fighting as cultists fight off, or rather, your comrades. I feel like it's weird to call your friends cultists. Like, even though you're in the cult of the dragon, that's just a moniker. Your friends, your comrades. These are your people. And you can hear them as they're fighting, guards and people who are trying to get them to go away, as you have been breaking into homes, taking things that might be considered valuable to a dragon's hoard. So not necessarily like anyone's, dining room table and such, unless it's a very valuable dining room table. You have seen some being carried to the carts that are being loaded up. You managed to get into a fairly decent sized manor and take a bunch of things from in there: silver, jewelry, paintings. Somebody stole some cookware, I believe. And while that has been going on, this tumultuous event has just continued to play out around you. And when you were taking the things back with Lemon Zest, driving the what do we call it? The treasure cart?
Yeah.
The treasure wagon.
I think so.
Yeah, driving your clockwork steampunkish treasure wagon. You're driving it back to drop off things when Bonvolio, your teacher, a turtle who has been in the cult for many years, commandeered it to go out and pick up other things, leaving you on foot and at the whim of the leader of this group of the Cult of the Dragons, Frulam Mondath. Now, Frulam had been instructing you all in the ways that you were supposed to go and essentially help try and break into the castle that is rebuking the current... the word escaped me, sorry. The current attempt by the cult to bring down the door or otherwise get into the castle. And... she happened to look up and noticed that the mill was beginning to burn, which was not the point. She didn't want that to happen. No one was instructed to go set fire to that. And so she sent the four of you off to stop the mill from burning and bring those idiot cultists back for reprimand. Traveling that direction, you managed to spot someone lingering in the forest, which you realized was Scott, the cowardly cultist, and you manage to convince him to accompany you over to the mill. At which point we arrived, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it was
You're the DM, you're never wrong.
Right?
Yeah, never wrong.
I think it was Aster that had managed to catch the scent of flour, of crushed grains, and it clicked that there are definitely circumstances in which these, or with that, like flour can become explosive, rather flammable, particularly when it's like really finely spread throughout the air. So depending on when they've been grinding their wheat, this could be really dangerous. Which is when we ended, as the flames were licking down the wooden roof. And I believe Lemon Zest was just about to do something. I believe you said you had a spell you wanted to cast.
I do. Should we jump into like combat?
Is this a
Or should I
combat
just cast the
spell? Are
spell?
you casting? Are you fighting something?
I was going to cast Arms of Hadar,
Okay.
where I invoke the power of Hadar. Hold on, let me. Can I? Nope, not what I meant to do. I meant to send the description.
Oh, gotcha. Over onto roll
Anyway,
20.
you invoke the power of Hadar, dark hunger. Tendrils of dark energy erupt from you and batter all creatures within 10 feet of you. Each creature... Oh, this is not the spell I thought it was.
Oh no.
Well, never mind. Oh, Thunderwave. Thunderwave was my other option.
Gotcha. Are you trying to like push the cultists away from the building?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have gust of wind?
I have Fog Cloud.
Oh,
That was also like that was my other plan C.
I mean, could it be like an extra moist fog cloud?
Right.
Because that could help. Like,
it may slow
Yeah.
the fire.
yeah, extra drippy moist fog cloud.
It kind of just really condensates on you, and your armor's just dripping, starting to rust.
Moist is such a weird word.
Moist.
Okay. Nope. Those were my suggestions.
Okay. Do you want to try and do fog cloud to slow the fire down?
I don't think fog. What fog cloud? I mean, if it's a cloud of fog, yeah, that would be moisture, wouldn't
It
it?
would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to cast fog cloud.
Okay. What is the size on that? I feel like it's pretty large, but just give me a.
Yes, it's a 20-foot radius sphere of fog centered on a point within range. So I guess I'd center it like in the middle of the windmill.
Okay. So as you've been standing there, the group of you realize that this group is made up of wrong tab. Sorry, hang on one sec. You see Todd, the fellow with the torch that has like gone back to stand with the others. He's just standing there, all proudly watching it burn. You see Sham. Sham is a half elf, and you see Melaine as she's kind of eyeing the flames, and she looks to the other two. She has her hair done up in this like pretty intricate braid that she's always told you she thinks looks like a 5-headed dragon, therefore she feels like it's like the style that cultists should wear. And you can see now as she's standing there kind of flipping her head back and forth between the fire and them, yeah, it kind of does look like 5 dragon heads flailing around. And then you can hear her over the crackling flames. Are you sure this is a good idea? I feel like this is a really bad idea. Were we told? I don't remember being told to do that. And then this fog cloud just kind of emanates from the center and pours over the building, and you lose sight of them. You can see the burning torch within the fog, and they cry out in alarm. What do the rest of you do?
Vestra just yells very loudly in a very loud voice, like this tiny dwarf produces this loud, like booming sound of like, "You were not supposed to burn it down. What are you thinking? Get over here right now."
Nice. Do you want to do a intimidation check with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hiya. Nice.
Which one do I pick in that scenario?
So we're gonna go with the 12.
The 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you're for auto rolling, if you're rolling with advantage, take the highest. If you're rolling with disadvantage, take the lowest, and otherwise just take the first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So we'll take the 12, and you do notice that there's a shout of alarm from one of the fellows, and they kind of wander towards you. You can see the brightness of the torch getting closer, although it's starting to flicker a bit. And Lemon Zest, you do notice that the flames themselves are dimming on the windmill. Doesn't look like the sails are completely out, but you're not really seeing much coming off of the roof itself.
Nice.
Meanwhile, what are Aster and Chris doing?
Well, I mean, Aster's just kind of like, man, it's just a matter of time before this one blows. I don't know, you guys. I mean, moist fog is great and everything. I mean,
Moist
Aster
fog.
can do like a thicket that might snuff out some fires, possibly.
Gotcha. What would that look like?
Maybe we should. And pickles.
And pickles.
A pickle thicket
Right.
is what's going to happen today.
I don't think pickle juice is flammable.
I don't believe it is. It's going to be a full-on pickle thicket that I'm going to attempt to engulf the fires. Yeah, there's lots of pickles.
Okay.
Lots of pickles in a thicket to save. Yeah, you can have another pickle. Another pickle.
A future RPGer if I ever heard one.
Pickles are juicy, and fires don't like juicy things. So let's see if some of the pickle thicket will stamp out some of the fire.
Okay. While this pickle thicket is growing, Chris, what are you up to? Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Can I use Ray of Frost to try to help with the fire, or is that...
Absolutely. I'm not even going to have you roll for that because it's a cantrip. You can just sit there and ray of frost things. So essentially, between the fog and this pickle thicket that grows up, and you can hear the pickles popping as their juices like start running down the burning windmill, and these rays of frost that are hitting it. You manage to snuff out the flames pretty quickly and stop the potential hazardous explosion. As the three cultists exit from the fog, you notice they look a little put off, especially Todd, who just looks really maybe a little annoyed that you've ruined his fun, but he doesn't say anything. What do you do?
I say we should still kill them.
Does Chris say that out loud?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the cult would care that much. We're a cult.
Hey,
Yeah,
now
that's fair, dude.
that's
I mean-
unnecessary. I was just taking care of things over here while across the river. No one's over here setting fire to anything.
Well, yeah, because we're not supposed to set fire to anything.
Who said
Yeah,
that?
jeez. Big boss man. Is that a
Yeah.
good voice?
What's that?
Was that how Lemon Zest sounded?
don't
Kind of like
remember.
this.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Well, now he
Now
does.
it is, right?
Now he does.
Yeah.
We're sure it's not a Scottish accent.
I mean, maybe it was.
Maybe it was a
I can
combination
try.
of the two?
I can try. Hey, you numbnuts! Why are you doing this? It's not what we were told to do.
Well, they said to drive the people, over. Wait, I don't even think that's the voice I was just doing. They said to drive the people away, right? Well, the fire was going to drive them away.
It's driving them away, but also you're about to blow things up. It's flour.
Flowers don't burn. I mean, unless it's really hot.
This flower burns. This flower burns.
I say we kill him.
We're gonna raise the
I think
average
he needs a timeout.
IQ within. So, is everyone pretty focused on this conversation?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
So while you're,
So yeah,
you're
none of
yelling
us are
at
paying
Todd,
attention. Ooh.
while you're yelling at Todd, you notice that the other two that are with him are kind of standing behind him, being like, "Yeah, we told him." But you notice that Mullane, her eyes kind of dart past you.
Aster's gonna do the wide turn, like, oh?
You notice Scott, as he has wormed his way backwards from you all, is now booking it back towards the forest.
This guy's a real problem. Like, what do
I
you
say we
write?
kill him.
Definitely,
Right?
definitely does not have the spine that so many of your fellows do, but well, fine. Let's go back and we'll help the people load up the treasure that's been gotten. Does that sound like a better thing to do?
Yeah. This is your last chance, though. I'm keeping count.
I'm not sure that it's any of your decision that I get to be in the
slap him.
Ah! Oh,
Wow. Once I became Scottish, I just turned mean.
and it was unexpected because you had to kind of reach up to do it, and he wasn't
Yeah,
expecting
exactly.
that to happen. Right.
Scots are tough. Scots are tough. No nonsense here.
So
No
and
time.
It stung just a little bit extra because his face is moist from the fog. So he just kind of rubs it. He runs his hands through his slick hair, and finally he just kind of meanders off to follow you.
Aster chuckles a little. It was well deserved. Scott. This guy.
Mullane and Sham, they join you.
Yeah.
And she says, "How have things been going? Did you all manage to do your jobs? I can't believe that they put him in charge of things."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jobs were done. We turned in a whole treasure wagon.
A whole treasure wagon?
Oh,
She kind of looks at the sack she's carrying, and the sack that Sham is carrying, and the fact that Todd is not carrying a sack at all. We might want to stop at a couple of these houses on the way.
Okay. Pick a color.
Aster's cool with it. I said we.
I'm sorry I spaced out for a second there. What did I miss?
That blow was too exciting.
And
I
then
say we go into one of these houses, we get a couple of big things to make it look a little more grand, and then we keep going, because I don't know. I'm really annoyed at Scott. I'm ready to get this day over with. I've got
Excellent.
some potions and things that I really want to do for you guys. And then the soap.
Ooh,
I have some new soaps for you.
that soap. I do want some.
Is that the fire department I hear coming?
Oh no!
We put
It
out
really-
the fire.
On my end.
We're too late.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Bloop. All right, so we're going into houses. Going to
Houses.
steal more things.
Yes.
Why don't we do a group investigation check, and I'll roll for the other group as well.
I see nothing.
I rolled a 23.
Nice,
These
nice.
are,
Yeah, 23.
These are buildings. Yes. I know what buildings are.
I rolled the 9.
Nice.
Sadly.
Yeah, so Mick, did we talk about somehow getting new dice for you for roll 20?
I think you should, because
Right.
I'm not doing so hot.
Right? You used up all of your good fortune at the beginning of last game. But together as a group, you all do manage to find some pretty decent treasures that have been left behind. And looking for larger things, you notice that there are some like silver gilded frames and other artworks like vases and stuff that are probably worth a good amount, but seem like they're space fillers instead of like small treasures. So yeah, you do manage to find a good amount, and carrying them back. Everyone just go ahead and make me a perception check.
Perception.
I know what the town is. I feel
Not
like I grabbed-
again.
I feel like somebody had like almost like a child's toy that was like a wooden like little dragon.
Right.
And I'm just like carrying it like this. And I'm just like, look at this dragon.
Right. It's actually like almost, it's not quite clockwork, but like it has like parts that you can move that move like the wings and stuff. So you might be like
Yeah.
flapping the wings.
I'm like bobbing its head or
Right.
like pulling its tail so its head goes up and down, right? Yeah.
So into this.
And while you're all watching that, you know, Aster, you're really irritated at Scott, and so you're keeping an eye out for him, and you notice you do see him. He's not far into the forest that you saw him run into, but he's laying on the ground, and he seems to be not moving.
Well, this is a bother because, you know, we can't have them just kind of expire 'cause it's supposed to do stuff. And, I mean,
Yeah. He was on latrine duty today too. Who's gonna do that now?
nobody wants that job. Nobody wants
Nose
it.
goes.
Let's see what Scott's doing. I want to go over and check out Scott.
Okay, perfect,
I'm
because
going to do it.
yeah,
I'm not going to do latrine. I'm checking on Scott because he's going to do the latrine.
So do you
Whether-
carry your treasure with you, or are you going to set it down by the group?
You know, I'll set it down and I'll be like, hey, you guys, can you keep an eye on this? But I still have all, like, my goodies, like my stabs and things with me.
Okay.
I have a lot of stuff in general, normally.
So as you kind of trundle your stuff through the edge of the forest here, or this large copse of trees, you do notice that as you get closer that there is a fairly large welt on the side of Scott's head, and he does appear to be unconscious. He is breathing.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pick him up. Now, remember, I left my stuff with everybody, so I just have my normal stuff. So I don't have anything in my hand.
Okay.
But I'm going to pick him up, not particularly gently because I don't care, and just bring him kind of floppy over
Okay.
to everybody else.
As you're carrying him, you notice that he's missing his like little medallion that you get to be an initiate into the cult. And are you like fireman carrying him, or are you like putting one arm around his shoulder and kind of dragging?
like a baby. I am carrying him like a rockabye baby.
Sure.
Just, whatever.
Why don't you just make an athletics check for me?
Okay. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
That's fine.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I mean, you're not like a huge person. Scott's about your size. So you manage to kind of like, you're walking, it's very awkward. You smack
Yeah.
him against some trees a couple of times.
Yeah.
You do manage to get him out of the forest, but it takes you a bit, and it's not, it's not really pretty.
Sure. He deserves it.
As she comes walking out of the trees carrying the form of Scott, what are the rest of you doing?
The form of Scott sounds so ominous.
Or it would be a good punk band.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm writing that down. I have an entire list of potential band names
Excellent.
that I keep. Let's see. I've got some good ones.
For reasons.
Reasons.
I'm still playing with my little dragon toy.
Okay. You do notice as the others, mostly Mullane and Sean, do go over and help Aster to carry the form of Scott. Is Chris doing anything in particular while this is all going on?
Just looking around, see if
Okay.
there's anything worthwhile since I failed my investigation and perception. So.
Gotcha. Why don't you just go ahead and roll one more perception check while you're looking around?
Alright. Worse.
They just
Oh my
keep
gosh.
going down, don't they?
Oh, gosh.
You don't notice anything. The sounds of Aster carrying Scott seem to kind of, and like trying to drag Scott out of the trees seem to kind of cover up even the sounds of the fighting across the river. There's like a resounding knock as Scott's head gets bashed against a tree, and then they they come out of the tree line, and it looks like Todd is just kind of waiting down the trail for you all to cross the bridge and head back towards the treasure wagons and the castle.
So I did score pretty high. Well, let me define pretty high. I got, for investigation, I did get a 23.
You
And
did.
then for perception, I got a 14.
Right, so the 23, the investigation was a group one to see whether or not you all found treasure, which you
Okay,
did.
then as a group, we failed.
No, as a group you made it, because they rolled a 17, because they were rolling with you, the others.
Okay.
So with your 23 and their 17, it was kind of a tie.
Oh, it was the
but-
dragon. It was the dragon that we found.
Oh, yeah, so the dragon and the
Okay.
artwork and all of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then your
My-
perception was to see who noticed, and Aster beat you.
Okay. Okay. I don't know why my brain just.
Mine does that all the time.
I rolled them, but then didn't bother to pay attention to the results. Okay, didn't bother to pay attention. Sorry, that's not the right phrase. That sounds bad.
We're just going to start calling you Todd. And
No! Please don't.
all right. So is there anything that you want to do on your way back to drop off the treasures that you have gathered?
I mean, part of me, like, I could try and heal Scott, but I don't really want to waste my time on that. I'm going to stick a salve on his head,
Okay.
but I'm not going to use a spell and hope that one of the higher ups can, like, hang out with him, because Scott's really kind of a bummer to be around. I don't want to do it.
Are you essentially trying to put the salve on and not try and wake him up? Are you just like, let's just help him feel better a
Yeah.
little bit later? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I won't have you do a medicine check to see if you can.
No, yeah, I'm
Excellent.
not trying to fix anything. I just want to, like, maybe he can be at a frozen in time until we can find somebody else.
Perfect. Anything else from anyone?
No.
Okay. So as you get closer
I want to try and slap him awake.
Okay. You go up, and how hard are you slapping him? I mean, is this like a running start slap or just like a pat, pat, pat?
I'm going to do an unarmed strike,
Okay.
and it does 0 damage
Okay.
because I have no strength. My strength is a -1. So
You do have advantage.
it's advantage. Cool, awesome. So that first one was a 6. Second one was a 19.
The 19 does connect with the unconscious cultist's face. Yes. Not doing any damage, but stinging a bit. There isn't much of a reaction. He does seem to be knocked silly, so to speak.
Well, that's sort of disappointing.
I kind of think that we should, every week at the beginning, somebody should be able to do, or we could do a vote as to what Lemon Zest's accent is for the week.
I was thinking that,
Yeah.
actually.
Perfect.
So this week is Scottish. Next week we'll come up with a vote for chat, and then you can go with that.
Yeah. If you could come up with it earlier so I can, like, practice. 'Cause I don't have too many accents in my arsenal.
You could give me a list, and then that could be the vote.
It's very
Yeah.
short. After that, it's is that Irish? And where it's just vaguely European, and then Southern.
Okay.
Those are my
Okay.
other two. I'm trying to learn New Zealand.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll build upon the list as we go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you get closer to the castle, you do notice that there are several of the cultists that you had seen in the large group gathered outside that are being tended to. They have wounds, burns, slashes. Even like some of them appear to have been like hit with acid or something. Having been around dragons for most of your lives, except for, was it Vestra that joined later?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Vestra, you might not necessarily recognize it, but the rest of you definitely have seen acid burns before. And you hear people muttering about how that didn't go well. And so it looks like the frontal assault on the gate has been rebuked, and you see Frulum and Langdedrosa Cyanrath kind of storming around, trying to get people to... They're less good at the like hopeful speeches. You're not gonna see any of them doing like the Braveheart ride by and all that. It's more fear. They definitely are like trying to scare people into getting back up and going out and doing their jobs. But as you get closer, you notice as Frulum notices Vestra, and then notices the rest of you. She takes a deep breath, and she looks off in the direction of the no longer burning windmill. Well, at least someone can do something right. And she says it, and it might have been a compliment, but you're not really sure. It's kind of hard to tell with Frulum. So take that for what you will. You four, come here. And she gestures to the four of you.
Do you see this dragon I got?
For a
Isn't
moment,
it-
she actually kind of like stops and looks at it, and she, like her eyes kind of light up. Yes, that's very nice. Make sure it goes in the treasure wagon.
I may have missed this, but can we hand Scott over to her?
Yeah, so if you want to drop Scott off, there was actually a group of people that were being healed or being taken care of because of various injuries. And pretty quickly, Todd and the others go off to help over there and drop off their things in the treasure wagons.
Thank you. That sounds great. I don't want anything to do with Scott. So.
So apparently, and she glares at Vestra, we have a traitor in our midst.
I a non-dragon believer?
She eyes each of you. That is correct. Someone who's been infiltrating our group. She wouldn't necessarily call it a cult. Apparently for some time. Apparently, they've been spotted trying to sneak away and join the townsfolk, trying to blend in.
Oh
None
my
of
God,
you
it's
know
Scott.
anything about this, do you?
It's Scott.
It's Scott. Just so you know, Scott
It's definitely
and
Scott.
right, it's Scott and Todd and anyone else.
Yeah.
Scott was trying
I
to
didn't
get
know
you.
about others, but
You know, I've known Scott's family for a good amount of time, and as useless as he is, I don't think he's a traitor.
Alright.
I mean, he's been trying to sneak off every chance he gets. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's that.
Apparently, you haven't
Speaks a
done
lot.
many like ransackings with Scott.
I guess not. I haven't really paid attention. He hasn't really been on my radar.
It's okay. He's being transferred. He's going to be sent back to the Well of Dragons for janitorial duty.
That's great news.
His family really pushed for him to be here, but he's just not working out.
I mean, clearly he's been missing all of the gym days. You know, we've been
yours is
lifting-
with the wind
lifting- Yeah.
Scott, sorry, Scott, your ears is with the wind there.
I would
They're
start
just
there.
looking up. Some,
Frulum takes a deep breath. She's like, "This person was seen already. I don't know who it was, but they've already been noticed trying to
you-
escape.
You have anything else to go on? Like,
It's some half elf,
description?
some half
Okay.
elf, darker
Alright.
hair.
Yeah.
They had shed their disguise and tried, or their robes, their disguise, as they tried to blend in with the townsfolk, but fortunately they were noticed before it was too late. I don't want the information that they've gathered to be disseminated to other sources of problems for the cult.
So wait, you know all about them, but you don't know who it is exactly?
I didn't see
know how
it.
Tall they are, you know.
The description is just short of 6 feet, darker hair, half elf. No one knew
And
who this
in-
person was necessarily.
That's like 5%. I mean, it narrows it down.
Well,
Like-
no, this person is in their underclothes because they did. Furlum just said that they did remove their robes.
So they're half naked out there. This is just only a handful of half elves that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Are you sure they're not out looking for mushrooms? I mean, everybody I've talked to, I've asked to look for
I'm
mushrooms.
quite confident that they're not out looking for mushrooms because they were seen fleeing into the church over there.
Mm.
Are you asking us to
Oh.
dispose of them?
I'm actually asking you to bring them back here, alive if possible.
Oh, so we
Although
have
if
to go to
dead is the only
church.
way, that's also fine.
They don't
the
like us in the church there.
That is not my problem. It's now your problem. And she
I
turns
think
away
they
from you.
Don't like us.
I had vegetables thrown at me, which was fine because I made a really nice salad afterwards, and that's okay. But it was the expression on their faces when they threw it.
Oh.
It didn't make me feel good. Didn't like it.
As she's walking off, barking orders at people who are being healed, the half-dragon Langdedrososian Wrath is standing there kind of like staring at you as you're talking about fruits and salads and stuff. And he just shakes his head and walks after her.
Well, I had a really nice family, and I think we've really connected over the beneficial things that dragons can bring us in our everyday life. And so I feel like if we go to the church, they'll definitely be there, and then I could be like, hey, remember me and how we had that really great conversation? And then do you have half elf matching this description and possibly under close?
Nothing could go wrong with that. That's flawless. I love it. Also, I know that they have cinnamon in the church, and I wonder if they'd give some to me. It's really good for inflammation.
What is a cinnamon?
Don't worry about it. I'm going to make you a salve, and you're going to love it. And I'll tell you all about it after it's done. But we need to actually get it, so I can't offer something I don't have.
Well, if they don't give it to you, we can always just take it.
Yeah.
Sharing
No one
is
will notice.
caring.
I mean, they may not even care about it. Let's do it.
Okay. What's your plan here?
Mm.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at chat.
I mean, since you have that wonderful connection, we could just go up to the front door and knock on it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
let them know that we need to come in.
Oh my gosh,
And that's
hold
okay.
on. I have this little baggie here. What if we give him? And then she just pulls out a fistful of these decorative patches at all different types of dragons. What if we give them free dragon patches?
Gonna no day that. Oh, gonna no day that.
Lemon Zest has reverted to speaking Kobold, which is Scottish Gaelic. Is that right?
It's just Scottish phrases. That one means please don't do that. Gonna no day that.
Oh my god.
So watch, a Scottish person's gonna listen to this and think I'm such an Egypt.
Right.
We're just a bunch of assholes over here. We're trying. This is trying. It's okay. Yeah, I think they're gonna love it. I think they're absolutely gonna love it.
Right?
And I'm gonna pull some weird herbal chapstick and be like, here, this is gonna just help with the with moisture on your lips, which will
Exactly.
make you talk a little bit
Is this
better.
like a tube of chapstick, or is it the little kind that you rub your
like
finger
a little
in?
balmy
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Good to know.
I haven't invented the tube yet, so
Fair enough.
Should we all go in the same door though? Remember that
a good one. That's a
once
good one.
we learned the tactic about two people going this way and two people going that way, and how that's a better way of connecting.
Yeah, that seemed
Way
to
of
really
connecting.
work well for us. I liked hitting that door. Yeah.
So has this been a walk and talk kind of thing, or are you all still back at the?
Yeah, we're doing the old Sorkin walk and talk.
Yeah. So while you're walk and talking,
Because Aaron Sorkin's famous, the West Wing, it's famous for people having these monologues, just talking while walking. Just the
Nice.
Sorkin walk and talk is very
Nice.
common in
Is Chris and are Chris and Lemon Zest providing any feedback for this?
Yeah, I can always go to the back door or through a window
Okay.
or something.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. Do you need a buddy?
I'll do it.
Okay, so it sounds like Lemon Zest and Chris are going to the back door of the church, while Aster and Vestra are heading to the front door of the church. And as the group of you still together are walking towards you, you do start hearing a fairly repetitive thudding noise that gets louder and louder. And as you get closer, you notice that the front of the church, that you can see at the very least, has a group of your comrades already there. It looks like they are trying to bash the door down. They have a makeshift battering ram. Looks like they cut a tree down and like are using some of the branches to hold on to it and are trying to knock it down. And as you get closer, you notice there are some other cultists that are kind of spread out around the church, and there might be a group of them in the back. You notice some movement back there as well. It does look like the church is surrounded, but they're not having much luck in the way of getting into the church so far.
The normal knocking techniques are not working on this church. Maybe we could sing them a song? That cheers people up, right?
You're welcome to sing a song if you'd like. You don't actually have to sing a song. I'm just saying if that's what your character wants to do.
No, sing a song.
Like, I like big butts.
And dragons have big butts. I feel like with the there's a rhythm going, right?
There is, yeah.
With how they're hitting this door. So I feel like Vestro kind of walks up like out of nowhere too. No one asked for her opinion.
Right.
She just like walks in there, and she's just standing next to the people who are trying to move this makeshift door ram. And then she just kind of like starts clapping on the beat, and then just starts like singing a song that's like, D is for dragon, F is for fire.
I threw an E in there for some reason. Dragion. Okay. Why don't you do a perform check?
No, I'm very, very bad at performance.
Not bad. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll for them at advantage because you did so well on your perform check, to see if your energy can kind of help them to hit this door harder. And they do kind of step into it, but it doesn't really seem to be making much of a difference. It seems like this door is pretty solid up front. Meanwhile, in the back, Chris and Lemon Zest, you get to the back and you notice that there's no battering ram going on back here. There are some cultists. There's a very large human fellow, bulky, brawny, muscly, that's just whacking away at this door with this massive axe. There's some others standing around with their swords drawn and waiting. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I mean, are there any windows that say like we could look in on the others around?
Yeah, so as the four of you approach, you did see that there are some pretty high windows, not within typical reach, but if there's some way that you could get up to them, several of them have been broken in. So if that changes Chris and Lemon Zest's approach as well, if you didn't want to go around the back.
I mean, I think I personally want to go see what's going on through a window and see if I can't help scurry up a little bit.
How would you get up to the window? They're about, the bottom of one is about 15 feet up.
I mean, I do feel one with the pickle thicket. Is there a possibility of growing a pickle thicket that I clamber up on?
Yeah. So you could grow the thicket and then do an athletics check to climb it.
Yes, I would like to do that. So we will conjure a thicket. I don't know if I ruled the right thing, and we'll try an athletics.
So while the thicket does grow up high enough that it should be able to be used. It just doesn't support your weight very well, and you're kind of breaking it apart as you climb it. You end up taking 4 points of damage as you
Damn.
do so.
So,
Okay, that's all right.
What's... I think before going back, like, Lemon's ass has just seen all of this, kind of takes pity, walks over, kind of like taps your feet and casts jump.
Ah,
Okay.
helpful.
And jump does...
So you touch a creature, the creature's jump distance is tripled until the spell ends. And it lasts for 1 minute.
And you can jump your strength modifier in... Hang on, let me double check that.
Let's see here.
While I'm double checking that, what is Chris up to?
I'm gonna see if I can try to, pick the lock of the door. Like, ask the big brawny human to stand down while I try to pick the lock.
As you get closer, you notice that there isn't so much a lock as it's... When he hits it, the door kind of goes in, but there's something on the other side that's bracing. So you think that there's like a cross beam in there. Now, you have seen people like be able to like wiggle something in between the doors and like try and lift the cross beam, but you might need help to do that. Just because they are heavy and they tend to be pretty like wedged in there. But that brawny fellow next to you might be able to help you with it.
Yeah.
But you got to get something through the door. What would that be?
Let's see. Don't know if I have anything
Okay.
for a short sword, but that's probably too wide.
It does seem as you kind of like try to stick it through the very small space between the doors, you do think your sword is a little too thick.
I do have a crowbar, but that's probably also too thick.
The crowbar would be too thick to get through there. I'm wondering if a crowbar would if you you might be able to do like an athletics.
Could you use a dagger?
Might not be long enough, but you could try it.
Yeah,
What about a yakulwa?
I don't know what that is.
I think you made that word up.
It's have you played what is it? Assassin's Creed Odyssey? So it's basically like a spear, but mostly just the tip and a little bit of length underneath.
Gotcha.
So yeah, like you got a long daggery spear, and yeah, you break off like 3/4 of it, and it's just the last quarter in the blade.
Huh. You don't see anyone that has one of those standing around, unfortunately, but...
I have one.
Do you?
I can...
But you're not
I can
standing
go
around.
back there. I think once I cast jump, I go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Chris,
Because I was
while
originally
you're...
planning on going back there anyway.
All right. So, Chris, while you are trying to find something to essentially jam in there and be able to lift the cross beam, Lemon Zest will be coming back. Up front, there is some inspiring song going on as the battering ram continues to slam against the door. And meanwhile, Aster is able to jump. What is your strength modifier? You are muted.
15?
Okay, so +2 for your modifier, which means
plus
you
2,
can
yes.
jump to 15 feet with the jump spell on you. So your leap into the air is 3 + 2, which is 5. So you could jump 5 feet in the air, but with the jump, it's now 15. So as you spring into the air, are you going to attempt this? I
You
guess
know
I
what?
shouldn't.
Yeah, spider monkey
Okay.
style, like
So you don't even need to make a roll for it. You jump into the air and you manage to like catch the bottom of the window and start pulling yourself up. Are
All right,
you
doing it.
being quiet about this? Is this a stealth thing, or are you just like trying to go as fast as possible?
You know what? I'm not even going to be stealthy about it, but I am going to pull my rope and tie it onto the window as I'm yanking myself up and be like, "Hey guys." I'm not going to be stealthy about it at all though.
So this window,
Does it have like the, like the kind of like crux and then all the glass bits are broken, or like part of like one square is open?
right? Roll a D whatever for me.
Okay.
Just pick one.
Odd is going to be yes, and even will be no. It does. It has like a pretty strong like frame that the glass was held in, and it had at one time. You can see that there's still bits in the top that looks like there were different scenes in each of the quarters of the window. And yeah, you could tie off. While you were tying off, what's your passive perception?
Let's see here. Perception.
Persona.
Wait, 4? Is that it? Am I looking at the right thing?
So if you have a 4 in perception, then it would be a 14 is your passive.
Okay.
And okay, so you jump up there, you pull out some rope, you start tying this off. Does a 16 hit your armor class?
Ooh. No, it does not.
Okay.
Oh,
As
I'm
you're
a
sitting
19,
there,
so.
as you're sitting
What?
there,
How?
your I think the armor that you're wearing, you have like, because you're a cleric, right?
Yeah.
You probably have the cleric-y armorness. An arrow bounces off your chest plate, and you kind of glance down and you notice there are several people in this church. Obviously, there's like a good group of the townsfolk, but you notice someone that doesn't look so much like one of the just kind of generically dressed common folk. This person's wearing armor, some pretty nice leather armor. Their pointed ears are barely covered by some long blonde hair, and their like well carved bow is like being redrawn as they place another arrow into it. It looks like there's definitely at least one person in there that might be some kind of trained archer.
I'm going to yell out the window to everybody, "Hey, you guys! They are definitely in here. I have a rope. Come on up."
Okay. And then are you going to wait there, or are you going to...
I'm going to wait there, kind of like holding on to the window, but also like sort of in a like a not opportune bow trajectory.
Sure. Why don't we call that... We'll just give you some cover, and that'll be...
I mean, can I throw some pickles over me? Like, is there kind of like broken foliage around the window from the collapsed vines? Can I just sort of like...
We need to make that a cleric spell. There needs to be like swarm of pickles or something, or pickle
the
shield.
Pickle thicket.
Right, yeah, pickle thicket. So you'll get some cover from the bits of vine that are up there still, and the bits of window frame, and like just being a weird angle and everything. Lemon-Zest, while you're walking away, you hear Astra's, she's like, "Hey, you can get in this way," and you see a rope dangling down. What do you do?
I suppose I'm going up.
Okay.
I crawl up. I see the archer, and I decide to annoyed, I use my magical tinkering ability. I can imbue a tiny non-magical object with a magical property of my choice. I'm going to do the one that emits an odor. So I've got like 3 decent-sized rocks, and I'm going to infuse all of them, and they all smell like very rotten eggs, and toss them inside to see if I can smoke them out.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think at this point, we need to roll some initiative. So what I need you to do is click on your token, and then roll your initiative from your character sheet or however you're using it. Clicking on the token is important because it adds you to the turn order. Otherwise, unless they updated it. Excellent. I see you popping in there. And we might as well go over and show everyone our... Well, I mean, we're not really doing a battle map for this. Although in hindsight, why didn't I make a battle map for this? Because I should have known better.
What, that would be like having a battle at the church? Of course we were.
Right? Let's go through the window. Why didn't I think of that? And I'm just missing lemon zest on. Oh, never mind. I see you have rolled it. I will add you.
Oh.
Lemon
For
zest.
some reason, it should have. Huh. Rude. That should have worked.
No worries. All right, so Astra. No. I named your character wrong on here. Aster. So essentially you are up in this area. Chris is down here. Vestra's up here. And Lemon Zest has crawled up next to you and is winging what smells like rotten eggs into the building. What do you do?
Oh man, rotten eggs. Aster really doesn't like gross, like, smells unless it's in a potion, and then it's gonna smell pretty at the end of it. That's such a good thing. I don't. I feel like Aster isn't like a go-getter. She's not like, hey, let's bring this guy to justice, whoever this is. She's kind of like not super into this whole thing, except the fact that she's like, you know, gets to climb in a window, or she gets to hang out with Willow, or these guys aren't so bad to hang out, and you get to forage for things. Oh boy. I think Aster's gonna bring out her blowgun and see if she can't just pop the armored guy.
Okay.
Hiding, like, I really do want to try and have it be a stealth thing, because there's like pickle thickets.
Right.
So yeah. I'm not sure if that's gonna hit.
I mean, there's a crowd of people. They're kind of moving around, and this fellow is moving quickly forward, taking pop shots at you. You do hear a scream of pain as your blow dart hits one of the people around him, but you do not hit that fellow.
Okay.
Do you want to stay up
Aster
there, or because you still have movement if you want to move?
I'm going to stay there, I think. I'm going to stay there. I have one more idea that I should have done, and I'm
Okay.
just going to wait for next time around.
Sounds good. So that brings us to Vestra. Vestra, make a perception check, or you can go with your passive if you feel like that is high enough. Just tell me what it is.
We'll go for the check.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent. You're belting out this song now. You've tried to figure out different ways to spell dragon in different languages at this point, and there's just the repeated thumping of the battering ram against the door. You don't really hear anything else. What would you like to do?
I feel like, is the door like starting to like splinter at all?
It is.
Or is it?
Yeah.
It is.
It's just taking time.
Vestra isn't a patient person. So I feel like as Vestra is getting all like worked up from singing this song and like the thumping of the makeshift ram and everything, she's gonna slip into a little bit of a rage here. Her barbarian rage is gonna start coming out.
Okay.
And she's gonna take her warhammer and start also beating on the door. Yes.
Okay. Why don't you just make an attack roll?
Okay. And I don't know, do I need to enroll 20? Do I click anything to like activate or it just does it? I don't know.
Oh, for your rage?
Yeah. Will it just do it?
Last time I
don't think it
checked,
will.
it didn't. Yeah, but
Okay.
we'll take that into account as well.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, and I have two hands on this warhammer.
Okay.
We are in rhythm with the thing.
That absolutely hits. Are you at +2 for your rage damage?
Rage damage. Gain levels, and you're a barbarian. Level 3, right? Because aren't we 3rd level?
You are.
Yeah.
All right. So as you said warhammer?
Yes.
As your warhammer hits it, large splinters also come off. Looks like you actually did more damage than the last couple of hits from the battering ram did, which just incenses you more. You're just like digging in to really hit this door and bring it down. Anything else?
As I'm raging, because I am an astral guardian barbarian.
Oh, nice.
I have these 3. How many is it? It doesn't say exactly how many. I'm just gonna say 3. It's 3. We'll add 1 on for every level of barbarian. These 3 little like they're clearly dwarven, but they're wearing almost like this dragon-esque armor, almost like dragon scale armor, and it makes them look a little bit dragony. And they're not doing anything. They're just kind of like hovering there, like they're supporting, like they're giving some moral support to this endeavor right now.
Nice. Does that do anything for the people around you?
No, it only does something if I attack a creature.
Okay.
Yes.
Good to know. Thanks. I believe that brings us to Chris in the back. Chris, what is your passive perception?
My passive perception is, let's see, 13.
13. Go ahead and make a perception check for me. Okay, so with the 13 as your passive, you do hear there's the pounding up front. You hear some shouts from the side that sounded like Aster, but you're not really sure what they said.
Okay.
What
so
would
I'm
you
gonna
like to do?
gonna keep trying to get this bar, like seeing if I can find something to help lift it.
What do you think would do that?
I don't know, is there anything around that's like thin but also sturdy? I think a stick wouldn't be strong enough to do it.
Let's roll whatever die you would like to. Odd will be yes. Even will be no. That is an odd. As you're looking around, you notice that one of the cultists nearby has this scimitar that you've actually seen them wielding it before. This fellow's been around with you for a bit. You're not really sure what their name is, oddly enough, but it's a human guy that is carrying this curved blade, and you've noticed it's really wobbly. Like, you've kind of questioned the use of it before, but it definitely like cuts people well enough. It might be strong enough if you were able to get some help with it. Like that beefy guy might be able to help you to kind of lift it if the two of you went at it. You could probably get it through the crack in the doorway, though.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna ask this mysterious fellow for his scimitar.
He looks down at it, and then at you, and then he'll hand it to you, and he says, "Make sure that comes back to me. That's an heirloom."
I'll do my best.
And then, are you gonna jam it in the door and try and lift?
Yep, but I will also ask the beefy guy for assistance. If it doesn't go
Absolutely.
through.
So with assistance, the two of you are going to you're going to get advantage on your athletics check. 14, nice. You do feel the bar inside begin to lift, and then it suddenly stops and is kind of, you notice the sword is kind of jerking. Somebody on the other side is pushing down on the beam. It seems like you almost had it, and it's not going back down, but next turn you'll have to do another check to see if you can get it out before they just see which side is stronger, essentially.
Right.
All right, so at the end of the round, Lemon Zest, you've just lobbed some stinky bombs in there. You notice that there are definitely people like recoiling from the smell. What would you like to do? I just want to point out, there's not a rope to go down the other side. There is a drop, so if you want to go in, it is 15 feet down.
Okay, how much damage would that cause?
The stinky bombs?
No, that would to jump down.
Oh, it'd be a d6 if you just jumped.
Or I could cast Featherfall.
Or you could cast Featherfall.
Yep, casting Featherfall. And then, I mean, that's my action. So I'm going to jump down with Featherfall, and let's see if I have any bonus actions.
I think it's a reaction to cast Featherfall,
Is it?
because you're reacting to falling.
That would make
Yeah.
way more sense.
And
Yep, that's
your falling is not part of your movement, so you also have movement and an action.
I would feel bad to use my reaction to cast. Can I use? I don't think I can use my reaction on my own turn.
Yeah, you can. If
can?
It,
Okay.
it depends on the triggering thing. Like Featherfall is when you're falling, you can cast this as your reaction. So that can happen during your
Cool.
action.
Awesome. That's what I'm doing. But also, even though it's reaction, I can't cast 2 leveled spells per turn. So I will cast Eldritch Blast at the arrow person.
Okay.
I could have done that instead of jumping down.
Yeah, you
But
could
you
have
know
done it
what?
from the window.
I wanted to show some initiative.
Yeah.
Show I'm not afraid to get dirty.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're not a Scot. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
no
not a
one
Scot.
wants to be a Scot. No one wants to be
Yeah,
a
or
Scot.
Todd.
Or Todd.
Todd.
People suck.
So as soon as I land, yeah, I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that.
That's a 21 to hit.
That will hit. How much damage was it?
It is 3d10, 8. Or 1d10, sorry. 8 damage.
Excellent. It catches this guy in the shoulder, and there's like a spreading blackness that hits his armor and kind of crinkles away, and he winces. What?
Immediately, I'm going to regret jumping down. Because is there anyone else in here? Of
There's
the
nobody
cultists?
else in there, and I'm in the it's all the cultists, and I'm still up in the window.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of people in here, just none of your
Yeah.
friends.
they're
All
all
right.
future friends. They're not
That's right.
friends.
That's right. We shoot future friends with Eldritch Blast.
It's all opportunities for friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's friendly fire in this game.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Excellent.
All right.
Sorry, I lost the tab that I was on to watch chat over here. Excellent. Okay, so going back to the top of the round, Aster, what are you doing?
I'm gonna fire guiding bolt at the door. Just to open it. Just to see. So let me.
Is this the front
find
door?
that. This is the door that everybody's trying to bust open.
Okay. So looking up there, you do see that there is a beam that is starting to crack. And there are a couple of villagers that seem to be trying to hold it down. But you also notice a fellow that's wearing some chainmail. There's a long sword, like a great sword, attached to his back. Looks like there's a shield nearby.
Okay.
Looks like
Well,
maybe might be like a half orc, and they're also like kind of pushing against the door.
I'm gonna still try and get the door and probably end up hurting them as well.
So you could target the door, or you could target them, whichever
I'm
you
going
choose.
to target. What am I going to target? I'm going to target. Why is this a hard decision? Because I don't want to be too brutal, so I'm just not that way. I'm going to target the door.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack.
All right. 10,
A 10 will hit the door. What was your damage?
15.
Excellent. On the other side, Vestra, you notice as a flash of light hits the door and like a little bit of this like radiance kind of comes out through the cracks, and you notice that there are pretty obvious signs that the door is about to break. Like the light is showing through in areas that look weak. I'm going to give you advantage on the door for your next attack.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to do, Astra?
No.
Aster. Sorry.
No.
Well, then, speaking of Vestra, what would you like to do?
Oh my gosh. Okay. We are definitely hitting this door with everything that we have. At the same time, we're also saying in like an unintentionally very scary voice, knock knock, the dragons are coming. It's because I'm raging and I have no control over my tone.
Right. Totally fair. You hear some shouts of panic on the other side of the door.
And then we whack on the door. There we go. I found the button for my rage. It
Excellent.
is a 2 for my rage damage.
Perfect. So 23 absolutely hits, and a large piece of the door cracks and falls through the other side. You see a villager as they step out of the way to avoid being hit by the shattering pieces, and the right after that, the battering ram hits. They were kind of timing it to hit with you. It hits, and you see the beam just crack on the inside. Now, the door is still closed, technically, but you can see that it's not going to take much more to push through. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, could I? Well, no. Maybe? Could I just push the door?
So your action was to...
Yeah, so but yeah.
You don't have multiple attacks yet, right? Like you're still at 1?
No,
okay.
I know. I'm still baby barbarian.
That's okay. You'll get there. All right, so you definitely feel like this next turn it's going to open. You do notice that there is an armored figure kind of standing in the middle of the door as he's pushing against it, and he's been pushed back by the blow from the battering ram. Like he's still pushing the door, but the door is kind of pushing him back. There's a half-orc fellow standing there, kind of also gritting his teeth and looks like he's very angry, but probably not in a rage necessarily. And there's a weird scent of rotten eggs kind of lightly coming out the door.
Yes. I think once I make eye contact with this half orc, I'm just gonna be like, we're just looking for one person. Just let us in. It'll be easier. Because I have no control over my tone, and I'm just shout talking at them.
Yeah, all caps the entire time.
All caps.
Right. All right, in the back. Chris, are you and the other fellow going to attempt to out overpower the people that are trying to push the thing back down? Excellent.
So I need to make another athletics.
You will do an athletics with advantage, and you hear the guy next to you as he starts to shout, and he really gets into it. Having been around Vestra quite a bit, you get the feeling this guy
Okay.
This guy is also a barbarian, and even adding his strength, you're not really having good luck with leverage because you're just holding a handle of a sword essentially. It's more of a draw, but the sword does drop down a little bit. Not quite there yet. So just before Chris, that elven fellow pulls back an arrow, trying to find where my tab is. Sorry. Does a 14 hit lemon zest?
A 14?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Because I was dumb and started off with Warlock. That wasn't dumb. Character-wise, that made the most sense to start off with Warlock. But I only have leather armor, so my AC is 12.
Gotcha. So, as the after effects of your spell kind of die off, and he's wincing at the pain, he draws back, sights you, and fires an arrow, takes you in the leg. You are going to take...
No, I refuse to accept this.
8 points of damage, unless you have something you can do against it.
Yes and no. I can cast Hellish Rebuke.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I still take the 8 damage,
You
so
do.
hold on, let's...
So he needs to make a dex, I think.
Yes, the creature must make a dexterity saving throw.
That is a
It's warlock
21.
spell. Oh shit, okay, save was 11.
Oh, okay.
So half as much damage on a successful. So we'll still take... Okay, so he takes 2 damage.
2 damage. Okay, so you managed to
Because
throw
I'm
this.
so weak in my warlockness. I'm
Right.
just like, "Ugh."
What does your hellish rebuke look like? Because you are a follower of Tiamat and not.
Yeah, so like as the flames come, there are flames, like 5 parts come out and turn to giant dragon heads briefly while they're lit up on fire.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do they raise around you and then like breathe fire at him, or is this like
Yes.
nice?
Or they all come down like chomp on him.
Nice.
Yeah.
He manages to dodge out of the way, but they clip him in the side, and there's some scorch marks left behind. What do you do in response on your turn?
On my turn, yeah, I'm gonna cast me some Eldritch Blast. Boom, roll. Okay. That's a 15 to hit.
That just misses.
No!
Yee. You actually hit,
Um,
but you notice that it just kind of hits his armor on the side and doesn't seem to do any damage to him.
Awesome. Sorry, ignore all those extra rolls. That was me. I'm out of spell slots, so I
Warlock.
guess that was a... Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast is a full action, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, 1 action. So for bonus actions, where are all my people at?
Yeah,
Are
so
any of my
you do
people
notice that
within 10 feet of me?
you do notice that Aster is 15 feet above you, hanging out in the window. What's your passive perception?
11.
11. So it's really hard to see. There's a lot of townsfolk that are kind of like pushing back from you. There's some pews around you. There's this elf in front of you. You did notice the fellow at the front door that is trying to hold it shut before you jump down. It's hard to see him now because the other people are so tall.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But
he's
you-
who I meant to hit. Dang it.
Oh,
Oh well.
that's okay. The elf in front of you.
Oh, wait. No, never mind. Okay.
Okay. So that
So a
is
reaction question, but...
end of that round. We'll go back to the top with Aster. What are you doing up on the window?
I think I'm going to go with guiding bolt to our guy with the bow.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I know if I jump down, it's a whole 15 feet, which is kind of a bummer. And obviously, I don't need my homie getting attacked because that's no good.
Totally.
So let's work on that. Does that hit a 9 with a radiant of 14?
A 9 is going to miss.
Miss.
As your light flashes from your hand, he looks up and sees it and dodges pretty deftly out of the way.
What a jerk.
But Lemon Zest, you do notice that there's an older lady who is kind of crouching behind this elf, trying to stay safe from everyone, and this blast of light hits her and knocks her out.
Oh.
But she's glowing. So
The old lady.
yeah.
Immediately, I feel terrible, like...
Yeah. Do I
What am I
notice this
doing?
too? Do I feel terrible as well?
You actually don't see it. You're at the way that the elf landed. You don't see this happen. Just lemon zest, which brings
Okay.
us. Unless you're gonna move,
for
or are you staying
Christ's
there?
sake. Ugh.
Who is this Christ?
For the sake of Tiamat. Ugh.
So
Can
did
part
you?
of my physical move be like taking the rope that no one else is taking and like flip it over on the other side and slide down it?
Absolutely.
Just slide down it.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. So for my turn, I didn't take a movement. Can I like go behind a pew or something and get like half cover?
Get cover? Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, so you pull the rope up, drop it on the other side as your movement. You wouldn't be able to drop down quite yet.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that. At least it's dangling on the inside for them to either come out or me to go down in, depending.
So pardon my crinkles for a second. I have to open this bag. Hopefully it won't be too loud. I'm going to open it under my desk because I'm out of treats, and so Libby's going to get a piece of Chex,
Oh,
Special treat.
which she is also all
lucky
about.
Libby, lucky doggy.
So that should bring us to Vestra out front. Looks like this door is coming. Well, the door's not coming down, but the door is about to open. The brace inside is definitely shattering. What would you like to do?
Yeah, let's give this door the final whack.
Okay.
So we just with a really good like dragon yell as we go to break down this door.
Like a shout of just the word dragon, or like
Yeah,
you...
I just shout the word dragon. Dragon.
Okay. The door cracks open as you hit it, and then right after you hit it, the battering ram hits it. It cracks the beam on the inside, and it just like flies open. I need to do a strength save for the fellow on the other side real quick. He manages to stay up quite easily, but is pushed back a little bit.
Vestra and her 3 astral projections take up this whole doorway,
Okay.
and then she stands there gripping her warhammer, and the first person that she sees is this half orc, and just yells at this half orc, "Give us the half elf! That's all we want is the half elf!"
Okay. Excellent. Go ahead and make an intimidation check. I feel like that's a pretty... I feel like it's a pretty intimidating thing.
I feel like the dust and the debris that comes off of this door being blown open, like I feel like she inhales some of it. So she thinks that she says, "Give us the half elf," but really it's just like, and then it's
coughing and
yeah, and then she has like this little like moment of coughing fit and kind of has to like double over.
So inside Lemon Zest, you can hear this like coughing fit, and at the very end you hear half elf. It was like the only like thing that you could understand, and you're not really sure what Vestra was trying to do there. But Vestra, you notice that the half orc in front of you like kind of stands up straight after like being pushed back and begins to like unhook that great sword that's on his back. Meanwhile, Chris in the back, you can hear there's like some shouting going on. It sounds like something's definitely like starting to happen in the front of the church. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna keep trying. Maybe give it one more shot.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, then maybe I'll go around the front.
All right, so this guy is gonna help you again. So roll at advantage. There's just too many people on the other side. You get the feeling there's more of them than there are of you, and the crossbeam slams back into place. The sword is still like through the thing, but it now has full hi kitty. Pardon for a kitty break. Yeah, so you feel like the crossbeam has been resecured. Do you want to stay there? You still have movement as well.
I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
It's not really working, so I'm gonna go to the front. Give the guy his sword on my way out.
Thank you. He's going to follow you, actually. The barbarian that was next to you is going to continue pummeling the door. You can hear his fists hit it as you walk away. That brings us to the NPCs. So, Vestra, the armored fellow in front of you, has that greatsword and yells... My brain just turned off. By the light of Lathander! And begins like running towards you. He's going to take a swing at you with that sword. Sword. Does a 16 hit you?
Oh gosh, heck yes, it does.
Okay. But you are raging, so just keep that in mind.
Yes.
Doesn't that give you extra AC?
My
Or is it
raging?
just extra damage?
It's damage.
It's just damage.
Okay. It gives you resistance to...
Yeah. Yeah, so I get resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Okay. So as this greatsword comes down, it does hit you pretty soundly, like in the shoulder, and it bites into your flesh. You would take 12 points of damage, but your rage is going to reduce that to 6. So you kind of like flex and like lean into it, and it just kind of like changes the the vector of the way it would have hit you, not dealing quite as much damage. And meanwhile, Lemon Zest, you hear as a sword is drawn, and the elf steps around the corner and is now engaged with you. You notice that there is a short sword in his hand, and in his other hand he's holding the bow, but he's not like doing anything with it. It's just more like he drew his short sword and is going to take a swing at you.
Rude. Truly do not appreciate
Easily
it.
dodge out of the way.
Yes.
And then it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I'll just immediately fire off an Eldritch Blast.
Okay. You are engaged now, so it will be at disadvantage.
It will? Wait, what?
So you are
Sorry,
you are
I'm-
engaged. You are within 5 feet, and so ranged attacks are at disadvantage unless you have the feat. Did you take any feats?
I don't.
Okay, then
Well,
for
the feat
now,
I got is for my background.
gotcha.
And it's not that one. So, within... why won't you let... Whatever. I don't think anything will beat the 5. Yeah, that's a 5.
So the 5, as you raise your hand to send this Eldritch Blast towards him, he does use that bow to like knock your hand away.
Wait. I made a stupid mistake again. I have an actual weapon I could have just tried to stab him with. No, that's fine. I'm
Might
just
look cool.
in the heat of the moment. I'm not sure
Right.
what to do.
Damn it, help me!
I'm doing this for you.
right?
I'm doing this for you. Help me.
and her power does flow through you. There's this blast of necrotic energy as it goes force energy, sorry, as it flies through the air and hits the stones on the wall, and you see some like chips fly off. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay.
Are any of you within 10 feet of me?
No, because Aster's still up on the thing about to climb down, maybe? Well, let's find out, because it is Aster's turn, unless...
It is
No, my
turn.
bonus action doesn't. Yeah, it's your
Okay.
turn.
I am gonna conjure a thicket around our bowed guy, because in my mind I'm like, we have to keep him alive. So what if we just stick him in a thicket so everybody can have a chance to come and get him? So
Stick
here
it in
we
the thicket.
go.
There's our next
Stick him
t-shirt.
in the thicket. Did that give any numbers?
Let's see.
Oh my gosh.
Conjure thicket, DC 14 to get out of. Excellent. So he's going to roll a saving throw of... that's a 17.
Oh boy.
Let me double check. Show spell description.
Let's see.
It is not safe for half, so he just dodges out of the way as this thorn bush rises up, and he dodges its effects. Anything else?
Oh my god, this guy is so squirrely. I hate it. So annoying. Get in the bush. Get in the thicket.
Just climb in that.
We're trying to say, like, I want to yell out, like, we're trying to save you, man. Like, you're making it really hard. This sucks. I'm gonna, like, thum it. Why
All
are you
right,
being like
so at the front, Vestra, you're facing off against this armored fellow, this armored half-orc, who shouted something about Lathander, one of those other deities, whatever. What would you like to do?
I'm definitely gonna attack him.
Okay.
Before I attack, though, I'm gonna be like, I don't know who Lythander is, but you really shouldn't hurt people without talking to them first. And then I go in for an attack with my warhammer, and the great thing is, oh wait, I have to hit first, and then the thing happens. Okay, so let's try to bop him on the noggin. I don't feel like I bop him on the noggin there.
You know, despite the fact that he's wearing some pretty hefty armor, he's kind of spry too, and he just like sidesteps your swing. Anything else? Plus, you were trying to hit him in the head, and you're short, and he's really tall.
Yeah,
It's just...
he is a half orc. I'm just gonna look at him again, and just be like, okay, but seriously, give us your half elves. One of them is a very bad person.
Who is your half elf, and what does he do? Oh, all right. So that should bring us to Chris, I believe. It does.
All right. I guess
So
do I manage to get to the front, or
so as you go around the edge, you notice that there is a tiefling that's up in the window closest to the front of the building. That tiefling is Aster, your comrade, and if you dashed, you should be able to get to the front of the building.
Counts as a cunning action, so I can. Yeah. Do I get cunning actions? Yeah.
I believe you're at that level.
Yeah, second level.
Excellent.
So I can use my bonus action to dash. So I will do that.
Okay. So you get to the front and you do see Vestra is in the doorway facing off against an armored half-orc. There are other cultists behind Vestra that are like setting down this makeshift battering ram and like drawing daggers and swords and stuff and getting ready to back Vestra up. What would you like to do?
Okay, I would like to pull out my short bow and
Okay.
shoot at the armored half-orc.
Absolutely.
Would I get sneak attack?
If you hit, you get sneak attack, but you don't have advantage to hit.
Okay.
But your
I will-
ally is engaged. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That made up for all of those other rolls,
Back to the yes.
right? So we've got 14. So that was a critical. 14 plus 8 is 22 damage.
Damn it.
This arrow takes the half-orc through the throat. There's like this spurt of blood that goes out. He's still standing, but he kind of like loses a hand grip on the greatsword, so he can like grab his throat. As this, you just see like crimson kind of spurting between his fingers. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
No, that's pretty much all I can do.
Okay. So then that brings us to their turn, and the half-orc kind of stumbles back. He does drop the greatsword, and he's looking around a little wildly, and he stumbles over and he picks up that shield, and as he does so, you notice that there's also a long sword underneath it, and he picks that up and dons both of them. That being his turn, he does turn towards you, and there's definitely like this pretty decent amount of blood flow kind of pouring down the front of his armor. Meanwhile, over at the center of the church, we have this battle going on between elf and kobold. The elf flicks back his long blonde hair and is going to take another swipe at you with that short sword.
Boo.
Boo. And with, I believe that it's a 12. That is a 12. Does a 12 hit you?
Yes, but also I've got. Well, I had partial cover last time.
You
'cause
did
I hid behind.
until he came up to you.
Duh. Yeah. Okay. 12 hits.
Okay.
Ah,
So that is going to be 7 damage as he stabs you with his short sword. Stabs you kind of in the side.
I don't appreciate that.
Are you out of hellish
so-
rebukes?
I am. I'm out of spell
Yeah.
slots.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to attack with my Yekola.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring out this blade and like jab him into the side. To no advantage, no disadvantage, just straight up attack.
Correct.
Yeah, 18.
That one is going to hit.
Baby. 4. 3 damage. 7 minus
Excellent.
1 on strength. Yeah.
You notice as a thin
It's
trickle of
a
blood
strength weapon.
oozes out from the scratch that you left on his leg. You feel that was justified. He definitely deserved that. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah. Now are any of my allies within 10 feet of me?
No. Aster's
what?
still up on the...
That's okay. I get 2 of these. I'm just going to do this for myself. I let out this draconic cry.
Okay.
I can't think of any Scottish cries. Let me Tiamat bless me. Brah.
Ah.
I'm casting or using Draconic Cry. So I guess. No, okay. They don't need to be 10 feet. Okay. You let out a cry at enemies within 10 feet of you. Oh no, it doesn't. Until the start of your next turn, you and your allies have advantage in attack rolls against that enemy that could hear you.
Okay.
So yeah, that'd be the guy in front of me.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to attack him, you've got advantage.
Nice.
So yeah, like I'm just, even though he's like higher than me, I just and scream right in his face.
And Aster, as you see this happen, he kind of stumbles back a little bit, not enough to like leave your threat range, but he stumbles back a little bit, and you almost notice this like weird presence form around him, Aster, almost like this 5-headed shadow looms over him. You know you'd have advantage if you wanted to attack him, but what would you like to do?
Oh boy. I mean, we need the guy to come. We need him to come with us. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attack him. And
Okay.
we're gonna. What are we gonna do? We're gonna guiding bolt. We're
Okay,
gonna try and guiding bolt him.
excellent. You have advantage to hit him with the guiding bolt.
Nice.
Yeah.
The 18 is going to hit, and it looks like 13 radiant damage.
Finally.
So, Lemon Zest, you notice as this ray of light shoots out of the window from above you. You don't necessarily see Aster do it, and it collides with his head, and he definitely looks a little stunned by it. He kind of, between your effect and this guiding bolt, he's glowing slightly. He's kind of shaking on his feet. Aster, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Thank you, Aster.
I'm gonna climb down the rope so I'm
Okay.
closer to you.
Perfect. That should
That's
bring
it.
us to Vestra's turn.
This guy is still not giving us a half elf.
I keep forgetting we're after a half elf. Like I'm just in the throes of battle. I'm just here to. Lemon says it's gotten kind of violent this episode.
They have. And you're stuck in your
So,
kobold rage.
Yeah. Like something's just come over me. I blame Tiamat.
Yeah, you know, this half orc redoubled their efforts by grabbing a sword and a shield, and I feel like that was uncalled for. So we're gonna smack him again
Okay.
with our warhammer.
Excellent.
And you know what? We're going to be recklessly attacking them because I have worked too hard and I just want this half elf. You know, we're missing our lunchtime. There's gonna be no food left.
Right?
Because famously,
so-
it's buffet style.
Yeah, it's buffet style.
Yeah.
Exactly.
First come, first served.
So with my reckless, I get advantage. I get to take the advantage, but they also get advantage on me on their next turn.
Okay. So yeah, as you go in and take the swipe, it looks like he's going to block you with the shield. So you go low and swipe up.
They never expect that.
Right?
And because I successfully have hit him with an attack, he becomes the target of my astral warriors, and
That's
they don't do any damage, but they run up and and not get in his face because they're shorter than him. They just become like this overwhelming presence
Okay.
of like, oh my gosh, like what? I would get these little ghosties away from me, as they will now. Until the start of my next turn, this half orc has disadvantage on any attack rolls that aren't against me.
Okay.
And when he hits a creature other than me, that creature has resistance to any damage.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So your little ghosts go up and little tendrils of ectoplasm wet willy him in the ears, and he's
Yeah.
very distracted.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And they kind of just leave like this little like tunnel pathway at me, trying to like prevent them from going anywhere else. But I mean, you know, they can make their own choices.
Nice.
I'm not here for that. And I'm gonna look around for this half elf.
Okay.
Now that I have this half orc distracted, just like a quick glance of the faces in front of me, and are any of them half elf?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Haha.
There's a pointy-eared fellow over there that's attacking your friend Lemon Zest. Otherwise, you see a bunch of humans.
Okay. I'm just gonna yell over to Lemon Zest. Is that the half elf?
That I'm fighting.
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean,
Did I just miss this detail?
this looks like an elf. Like, we have some pretty full-on elf ears, but
Oh my gosh. I really just went into battle, didn't I? I was just bloodthirsty. How did I miss this I just heard someone shooting an arrow, and then my first thought was,
kill it.
oh yeah, let's defend ourselves. Defense was just my first thought.
Right.
Not...
Yep.
All right.
Oh my gosh, what is with me this game?
The violence has come over you in a
It's
wave.
the Cobalt
It
energy.
has.
All right, Chris, you are up. It looks like your comrade Vestra is fighting with this half orc. You notice that these dwarven spirits have surrounded him, kind of focusing him on Vestra. What would you like to do?
Alright, I'm gonna fire another shot
Okay.
at the half orc. Let's see.
And just real quick, Vestra, this doesn't give him any, or there's no advantage is the one I'm looking for. There's no advantage on this, right?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So Chris is not at advantage, but you will get your sneak attack with that 24 to hit. How do you do this?
Oh yeah.
Say I go for the throat again, just
Okay.
at a different spot.
Excellent. So this one, whereas the other one kind of like went through, this one like goes in and lodges, and you see his eyes go wide, Vestra, and he tries to swallow, and you just see like the shaft of the arrow kind of wiggle, and there's a kind of a gagging, choking noise as he falls back and crashes to the ground in a large cacophony of metal clanging on the ground, essentially.
Yeah. Lythander who?
Take that, Morning Lord. Anything else, Chris?
I think I'll move inside with my my movement speed.
Okay. So stepping in, you notice that there's a lot of townsfolk in here. They're mostly trying to like smoosh back into this larger group, staying out of the way of the melee and the fighting. You do see Lemon Zest squaring off with this elf. Make a perception check for me.
Alright.
In that group of humans, kind of over there, more on the left and near that back window, is a half elf with dark hair. Looks like he's trying to like kind of hide behind the humans, but you picked him out as the crowd was kind of moving around. Otherwise, you don't see any other half elves.
Alright, well, I will yell out, like, I think that's him, and just point in the direction.
Okay. And the elf kind of glares off over at what's happened now at the front door and is going to take one more swing at the kobold. Does a 24... I feel like I shouldn't have even asked that. This short sword stabs into Lemon Zest, dealing 7 points of damage.
No.
Are you still up, Lemon Zest?
Yes. Got 4 hit points left.
Yeah, where did you go?
What do you want to do, Lemon Zest?
I'm going to try and deal non-lethal damage. Knock them out.
Okay.
Yeah. That's something we
Bleed
can
them
do.
just enough. Okay, I've got advantage. Okay, now what I meant to do. That was the wrong roll. Or was it? Nope, that was it.
And one more time for your
So that's a
advantage.
6. And 12.
12 is going to miss, unfortunately. And with that,
I'm succumbing to my own wounds.
right, you're starting to feel a little lightheaded. The room is spinning just kind of like crazily around you. All you can see is this leering elf face in front of you as his sword drips a little bit of your blood. Everyone else is looking at this fallen half orc, or is listening to the pounding on the door in the back as the people back there continue to try and keep the brace where it is and fight off. Aster, you can see as Vestra, sorry, names, has felled this half orc, and Chris, you see this half elf trying to disappear into the crowd, and we will call it there for this week.
Oh my god.
As we are 10 minutes over, but I was like, can we get through this fight? No, we can't, but it's close.
We're almost there. The
Oh my
suspense.
god.
Thank you, everybody, for today's action-y episode. Is there anything that any of you want to throw out there?
Heal word.
Heal word. I mean, as yourself, but besides that,
Yeah.
redeeming that puppetry. Thank you, Raven.
Oh my god.
Stretch. Anyone have anything coming up that they want to share?
No.
Tonight. Tonight
right.
is after having to cancel last week. Tonight is the first episode. I mean, technically third of performance review. My Triangle Agency AP. The first 2 episodes were on Roll D5, which were both kind of one shots with the same group. And the group gelled so much that we just decided to spin off and do a full-on campaign on the Talking XP channel.
That's awesome. Looking forward to it. For some reason, I thought it was in 2 weeks, which was again the premiere of another Outgunned episode. I'm like, I'm going to miss it again. But good to know it's tonight because I'm going to tune in. Can't wait to see that.
Yes.
Any other things
Good.
coming up?
I think just for me, just because it's brand new, we had our first episode last night Pacific time. Myself and 2 other my lovely friends are starting our campaign playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3
Nice.
over on Sword and Key. We call it Gate Night. It's kind of like date night, and it's adorable. But yeah, if you want to consume more Baldur's Gate 3 content, that we're going to be doing that weekly. And it just started yesterday. So
Nice.
every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Fantastic. Mick, Adela, anything coming up for you?
Nope. Just living and being here on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Hooray for those things. I am glad that you were here with me on Wednesdays. Thank you all. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for tuning in today and joining us. Thank you, chat, for being so active. I was trying to watch you while also doing things. I hope I caught things. I have redeemed all of your pupper treats, even though I wasn't saying so. I'm just like throwing your treats. Definitely appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to Raven for being our Great Worm Patreon supporter. Yeah. Thank you so much. And tune in this Saturday as we have a 5e one-shot published by Frog God Games called Encephalon Gorgers on the Moon, which is going to be chaotic, I have a feeling. I feel like it's just going to be chaos. Should be good chaos, though, so it should be fun. Otherwise, join us next week for episode 3 as we dive into some more For the Hoard of the Dragon Queen. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
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 All right, you're out. Oh, I'm not. Hey, if you're still listening, I'm going to raid. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Raven. So please hang on as we raid over to... Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Let's raid Dorktails. Raid Dorktails. Thanks again, everybody. Bye.